land of the free, home of the legends. Real country, all the time.
3:00 in the morning, and it looks like it's gonna be.
Welcome in to another edition of The Walkthrough. Your hosts, Austin Watley and Brant King, are here to break down all the action. Each week, we bring you exclusive coach and player interviews, in-depth coverage, and expert analysis you won't find anywhere else. From the latest highlights to the stories behind the game, this is The Walkthrough.
Good evening and welcome in to another edition of The Walkthrough. Austin Watley here along with Brant King, and we've got the Jena High School football coaching staff in the house tonight. Been a crazy week this past week, and this weekend was just a dream come true, I think, for all of us. Went down to New Orleans, came up short. Sterlington beat Jena 34-20. Brant, you got the stats on that?
Yeah, it's just a great weekend for everyone involved. Just a great atmosphere, just reaching the pinnacle of Louisiana high school football, making it to the Superdome. Let's go through some of the stats in the game. Rushing wise, Daniel Hatcher had 21 carries, 112 rushing yards. Cedric Wilson, 25 carries, 90 rushing yards, 1 rushing touchdown. Passing, Deuce McPherson was 9 of 18, 195 passing yards, 2 passing touchdowns. Receiving, Zadrian Cooper, a great game for the Giants, was the most valuable player for the Giants in the championship game. 4 receptions, 125 receiving yards, 1 receiving touchdown. Adrian Sharp got into the end zone late in the game. In the fourth quarter, he had 5 receptions, 70 receiving yards.
Let's just go ahead and get into the game with everybody. Whoever kind of wants to talk first, but got off to a great start, going to halftime with a 12-7 lead. The Zadrian Cooper touchdown pass, I think, just sent the whole Superdome into a frenzy. Everybody was going crazy. Defense played awesome, played lights out. Had a few pick sixes in the second half, kind of got out of hand. But I really think everybody thought we were going to get blown out, and that was not the case. We played really well in the game, I thought.
Yeah, I was very excited to see our kids come out, and I never saw any moment where I thought this is too big for them. You know, they came in there like they belonged to be there, and it was awesome to see that, because the way they warmed up in pregame, the way they handled themselves in the locker room, you know, all of that going on around, I think they may have handled it better than some of us adults did, to be honest with you. It was awesome to see that. They went there to take care of business, came out in the first half, played great defense, outstanding defense. I'll talk more about our defense later in the show and how they progressed. But as far as that night went, they played outstanding, gave us the ball, made them turn it over on downs and able to go throw that big play action pass as Adrian Cooper. He made a great adjustment on it to catch the ball and to be able to go in at halftime was a beautiful thing. And we were confident coming back out, but, you know, just some mistakes, penalty here, turnover there, and didn't go our way. But I couldn't be more proud of the way the kids handled the situation, being down there, I can't tell you how many times I got a screenshot over the week of people talking about, well, the state championship was played in the semifinals between Sterlington and St. James. Like, we didn't belong to be there. Our kids belonged to be there, and they showed it. They gave Sterlington the best game they had throughout the entire postseason. So proud of them. You know, it's our, you know, as coaches and I'm sure players too, we've been kind of back and forth between, feeling sorry for ourselves, depression, and looking back and enjoying the moment and appreciating what an awesome season this was. What an awesome opportunity it was to be down there and to walk out and see the fans there. My gosh, it was, I don't know by how many, but I feel certain that our side of the stands outnumber Sterlington greatly. It was a beautiful thing to see and just such an awesome experience for our entire community.
Well, you talked about the defensive side of the ball and just a unit that didn't return many guys, returned 2 starters from a year ago and a lot of new faces, just a unit that got better and better each and every week. Let's go through some of the stats from the championship game. Xavier Brown had 8 tackles. Kason Dean had 7. Elijah Townsend, big game defensive lineman, 6 tackles, 2 tackle for loss, 2 fumble recoveries. Jonas Jenkins had 5 tackles in the game, 1 fumble forced. Ryan Evans had 4 tackles. Trey Gaines had 4 tackles, and Jesse Love had 4 tackles.
What was cool for me is getting on message board, just going on social media and seeing somebody that's not even from our area, not from Central Louisiana, not from North Louisiana, and saying, man, number 48 is playing his butt off. And they were bragging on Elijah. And I just thought that was so cool that it really showed me how many people were watching Gina football right then. And I was really proud of the defense there. And, the defense played maybe their best game of the year against probably one of the best offenses in the state.
Yeah, I think at the beginning of the year, first 6 games, we were giving up about 30 points a game. Last 6, we ended up ending the season giving up about 10 points a game. I think Sterling came into that game averaging 450 yards rushing in the playoffs. I think we held them to less than 300 total yards. So it was seeing them grow and seeing them become as good as we all thought they could be was one of my prouder moments as a coach. They were excellent.
At what point in the season was the turning point for the defense?
I think even though we did give up plus 40 versus Bunkie, I think after Bunkie they realized how good they could actually be. And then from after all of those other games, that's when we helped opponents to 0-6. I think we gave up 20 to Mansfield, which was an outstanding offense. Held Union to 6, and then held Sterlington to basically 22 points. Very proud, though.
Yeah, I think, what was it, replaced 10 starters, and it's a lot of young guys. And you had a few seniors, but it was their first time starting. As a coach, I know early on it was a struggle and getting those guys that experience. But just talk about how staying in there and still going to battle with those guys and them coming around. Just talk about how good that felt to see them turn the corner and gain that experience to then start playing well.
Honestly, at the beginning of the year is one of the most frustrating moments of my career. I knew it was going to be tough going into the season, but it was a little tougher than I expected. But once they realized and once they started to believe and see what we all felt and owned, they really turned it around gigantically. Coach Dorton, Coach Chandler, Coach TJ held me together throughout the season. Couldn't have done anything without those guys. And like I said, it was just one of my more prouder moments to end the season the way that we did against such an outstanding team.
I just kind of want y'all to talk about, maybe summarize your experience this past week from the semifinal game to New Orleans. I mean, I know we've all dreamed about it, but it's still going through that experience was better than anything we could ever dreamed of. But just kind of talk about y'all's experience this past week. Yeah, each one of y'all.
I'll go first.
Go ahead. Coach Dorton has entered the show.
Y'all started a little early. So I've been dreaming about this since Brock Berlin was quarterback at Evangel back in, I believe that was 2000. That was after we had lost to Notre Dame. We all went down there kind of as a last little hoorah. And that was really my first experience with it. And ever since that point, it's just I'll wake up at night having dreams of being on the sideline. I can't find my helmet or something. I can't go in, but I'm there. But this weekend, I was just on the phone with a coaching buddy of mine coming up here, and he asked how it was. And it's like a long pause that you're trying to figure out how to explain to them the feeling of standing there and seeing your kids in front of you and you can see the turf behind it, and you can hear Gina, which I don't know how many people live in this town, but I know every one of them were there. It was so loud, and just standing there, it was really overwhelming. As far, I think for the coaches, I don't think the kids, they seemed to be perfectly fine, like they had been there, 10 or 12 times. But for me, walking out there, it truly was a dream come true, and seeing my wife and kids on the other end, and seeing people that I recognized without just staring into the stands. It was just a really surreal, super emotional moment that you just really had to hold in, because you had a job to do until later on that night, and then it kind of just was overwhelming, the emotion. But just an unbelievable a weekend, probably the proudest I've ever been, and I'm pretty proud of this place. But to see that many people there and representing so well, just a super proud moment for me, and I know for this entire program. But yeah, pretty cool.
Pull that over there.
Yeah. They can hear me from there, huh?
Yeah, they can.
I think the highlight of my weekend was Thursday night. We were leading the kids through the dome, the tunnel. Mm-hmm. And I kept hearing kids go, "Where we at? Where are we at? What is this?" Right? I finally turned around and said, "Guys, those are the bleachers." Oh, so this is like where the Saints get dressed. I said, "Yeah, it's part of the area. Their locker rooms, wherever." And then I saw where we were coming out through that little cape. Man, I got out in front of all of them. I couldn't get my phone out, but man, when they walked out and they all just started running into the back of each other, it's like, wow. And then all of a sudden they're fighting to get their phone out to film it in that first experience. I may have got more out of that than I did the whole weekend, just seeing their faces. And kids never been out of Nebo and Whitehall or Gina or wherever. That was probably my favorite moment of the whole weekend. But standing in the tunnel before we went out for pregame, I think is when it finally hit me in the dang chest. Like, golly, 19 years of this, I finally get to walk out on there and do it. And like coaching them, I found my family and saw Coach Fowler up there. That was a cool deal. And a lot of people don't know a little secret. We had the ode to Coach Fowler very first play of the game. We ran trap play, and that was one of Coach Fowler's signature plays he used to call. And it was fun for me to do that for him. And, I mean, after that, it became a ball game. And couldn't be more proud of the kids. Just couldn't be more proud of the whole scenario. I know it wasn't what we wanted. Been proud, been great till Sunday evening. Wife's taking a nap. I pulled my laptop out. And guy, y'all know Ben Hackler, and I've known Ben for 20 years, I guess.
Yeah.
I pulled out, and it was got my laptop, and I opened it. I said, I don't know if I'm going to watch it, but I saw a Sterlington radio mix on the YouTube. I said, I'll just listen to it. Didn't show any plays. Around the end of the game, Adrian just caught the touchdown pass, and then Sid ran the 2-point conversion in. And I don't remember which one of them said it, but one of them said something to the extent of, well, without the 2 pick sixes, we're tied at 20. And then it just hit me. So that's what I've been wearing on the sleeve for the last 2 days. But no, man, you can't buy that first experience for nothing, and especially for these kids. It was wonderful.
For me, I remember being on the sideline at Vidalia as a ball boy at the age of 10, and that's when the dream of the dome first entered my mind. 30 years later, I finally got the opportunity to experience that dream. And to all those kids that we were with this year, man, I can never thank them enough for giving me the opportunity after 30 years to finally experience that. And the moment that hit me the most was when we were on the bus. And as we were going over the hill, seeing the dome for the first time, that was the biggest moment for me. It's when it really, really sunk in that this is going to happen. And then walking through that tunnel, Brian Evans next to me, and we're talking, and Xavier, he's next to me too, and we're like, you're going to play on this tomorrow night. It was a memory that is going to last with me forever. It's one of the greatest memories I've ever had, and like we've all said, it's one of the proudest moments of my life for what they did that night.
Someone had told us that your first time to ever be in the Superdome?
Yeah, it was my first time. I made a cheesy little thing back when I played where I said I was never going to go into the Dome unless I was playing, and then Riverside kicked us out of the playoffs. When I decided to become a coach, I was like, I'm not going to go in there unless I'm coaching. So that was the first time in my life that I actually got to fulfill that promise I made to myself. And it was kind of ironic that night that the first night that we went up there, we went and watched Riverside, the team that kicked me out of the freaking playoffs.
Yeah.
And I just thought that was really unique and it was an awesome experience.
Yeah. I kind of hit on my thoughts of the experience already earlier, and I can't talk too much. I'll get emotional. Unreal. Thankful to the kids in the community. Like he said, the kids got us down there. They gave us the opportunity to live out a dream we've had forever. And can't be more thankful. But all the moments were big, getting in the locker room, watching the kids be so locked in, not thinking about the venue, not thinking about the opponent, just thinking about their job like they did every Friday night was huge. And just incredible moment. The fans, the support throughout the week, just a special week. And, another big thing that's big to me is I think I saw a hunger in our kids' eyes at the end of that game that tells me we're not done. I feel like each step we've taken to the second round, of the quarters, to the semis, and now to get down there, I feel like it's just built more and more of a belief. And I feel like these kids are going to work harder than they've ever worked in their lives from here on out, because now they know. Because at some point, and like he said, I think it was Bunky, we became the most close-knit, most determined team I've ever been around. And I think and I pray that if that continues, we're going to experience this again sooner than later. So, but overall, unbelievable experience. Could not be more thankful for everybody, including you two and the guys that help y'all at the junior high. Without y'all, it don't happen. And I hope y'all understand that. Huge part of what we do.
That was for me. It was the whole week, and then the Superdome was just kind of like the little cherry on top. I mean, the week from Union Parish, and then leading up to it, just all the coverage, everybody donating all the stuff, and just the excitement around the town. It just was the coolest thing to me. And then the Superdome was just a little cherry on top.
Yeah, I mean, you guys talking about, as coaches walking into the Superdome, I mean, it was special for us as media, just covering the game and being in the press box at the Superdome. I said the same thing. I wasn't going to the state championships until we made it. And finally we made it.
I had told my wife I wish I could. I really wanted to experience coaching on the sideline, doing what we were doing.
Yeah.
But also, I wish I could have just been sitting in the stands with the Gina fans, because I've been looking at pictures all week, and I see in the background of these pictures people that I'm like, they haven't been in Gina in 15 years, but they came to that game, and I wish I could have just been in the stands with them and experienced all of it, because I think whatever part of it you were experiencing, you had a great experience. Y'all have mentioned a couple times how much the kids were locked in. Do you think it's from going the day before that really kind of helped with that, or do you think that's just how they've been all year?
I do think going the day before was huge, because what he explained earlier, they got all that out of their system. But since the Bunky game, I'm telling you, just practices, games, they've just been so determined. I think they've just been that locked in. And, you get that close 2 years in a row. And then the first time we went to the semis, it's almost like they didn't even really understand how big of a deal it was, how close we were. And they went out and played ball, turned the ball over a couple of times, and we're in the Dome that year.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next year, I think they did we were close last year. Now we're here again. I think it might have been a little bit too big of a moment for them. So this year, it was just a matter of being great teammates and being determined and locked in. And we strung together from whatever was that week 8 to week 15, the most nearly perfect practices I've ever seen. And you can, do that sometimes in a week, or maybe a couple of times, but, 6-7 weeks of just unbelievable practices towards the end. So I do think the day before helped, but I also think it was just the pure determination of these kids to go the next step.
The quarterfinal week, I can't remember who we had. I think it might have been Luke and Kale. It was some other kids, but we could just tell from talking to them how locked in they were during a week where they were not in school. Thanksgiving holiday was the next day. They could have had a million things on their mind, and all they cared about, you just see in their eyes, was football. And that blew me away because last year we never had anybody that looked that locked in. And this year I was like, those guys, they're bought into it. I'm trying to think what my next thing. Coach McCartney, we'll go to you. To me, the Union Parish game, I know it seemed like maybe the first half or the first 4 drives, that was about as good as you could call a game as far as play calling. Was it the game plan, or was it just the players executing, or did you just feel like you had it dialed in that night?
I actually had my headset on the wrong channel and was helping him out a little bit more than usual. But no, go ahead.
That's exactly. Actually, that's happened all year. I've just never told anybody. Coach Dorton's the one that's called the plays all the last 5 years. No, I don't. I have to give it all to the kids. They executed the game plan as we went in. As a play caller, sometimes you just get a feel for what's going on. I'll be honest, I felt after the first drive against Union, I don't think it would have mattered what we were calling. The kids were ready to play, and they were really ready to get over the hump. Union gave us, was giving us a couple of looks that we knew we could take advantage of. But once again, if you don't execute it, it don't matter what you call, and there was some timing ones there that timed up just right for us. But like I say, I all year long though, our kids have went out there. Our offensive line has really done a great job of being pretty consistent. And then you got the 2 backs we've got, man, and you just got to give them the ball. Yeah. Just give them a little crease. And we caught Union a couple times, outflanked and outmanned in a couple deals. But once again, the kids have to execute it. Mm-hmm. So it was fun. It was fun that first half. I think their level of execution, I think, really kind of put Union in that hole early, for that whole first half. And Coach Faircloth and them shut them out in the entire second half. And probably, I think, the biggest deal in the Union game for me was we did not score, but the opening drive of the second half, you take almost 9 minutes off the clock. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then they have to go 92 to go score. And so now they're in catch-up mode, kind of like we got in the Superdome, unfortunately, and that's not their game, which it never was our game either. But I think that drive to open the second half probably made the difference in that ball game pretty early, pretty quick in the second half.
Question is, do you return to the booth next year, or are you on the field for good?
Can't do it. I guess it's no, can't do it, man. When that happened against the Bunkie game, we talk about that Bunkie game, man. Just so many things came together for us, and I'm sorry, that's the part of being a coach. You are superstitious beyond all means, even though I don't even believe in superstition, but I do now. Yeah, so
that's right.
No, I won't be going back up. It'll be Coach Dorton calling the plays again. So, but no, I in the Dome though, I thought our opening drive to go back and answer them was beautiful. Not from the plays I was calling, but it was beautiful how we watching our kids get after their kids. And when you reverse it to a year ago, man, it was like, gosh, dog, we can't beat these guys. This is another level of something we can't do. Mm-hmm. And when I tell you, the boys just took it and went right down the field on them, man. It was exciting. It was exciting. I wish I could have been somewhere else watching it, because with me, it was just a game.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, we talked about the Starlington drive. We said, this is going exactly how they want. They're controlling the game, controlling the clock. And then we turned around and did the same thing. And I thought, okay, well, it's going to even out then. There just may not be very many possessions, but.
And you talk about the throw to Cooper, coaching them. That was on the fourth down stop, right? Yeah, and I mean that
Yeah.
was I literally I had that in my mind on third down. I said we get to stop here. We're gonna come back and go the climb route back to Coop. And I look over there and it's just one guy on him. I said this might it's either gonna make us look real smart or real dumb, you know.
Yeah. And y'all have talked about how the players been locked in, but is there anything from this year that you take that maybe y'all did, or maybe you pushed them to a certain level that y'all got to this point that maybe you go in future seasons and you say, hey, remember we did that one, and that kind of put us over the edge. Is there anything maybe you take from this year that helps going forward?
I'll say one thing. I think some of the leadership that we had from our senior class was probably a real big part of that.
That's kind of what I was going to hit on. That I think that was the difference, was the kids' mentality, and we just got to convince those kids to be like that every year and not wait till week 8 or 9 to figure it out. But it's just preaching. You know, Coach McCartney is a mastermind of creating adversity in January and February and making those kids go through some of the toughest stuff they're going to see, you know, tougher than what they're going to see on a Friday night, and making them pay for small mistakes, you know, and that kind of creates that tough mentality of overcoming adversity, which I think led to the defense being able to do what they did. Because early on, it would have been easy to hang your head, point fingers, get frustrated, but they had been through so much adversity before that just seemed like we just got to figure out a way to get better from this. And they did, you know. So I think that what he does in the weight room is just outstanding, and creating that mentality of, all right, it's tough. We made a mistake. Let's pay the price. Let's get better, instead of, you know, hanging your head, pointing your finger. Because we've been there. We've had, you know, guys in the past and coaches as well that you just get frustrated and hang your head and point fingers, and you know it's anybody else's fault but their own. But these kids never did that once. Man, it's just so much fun to see when it finally clicks and they figure it out. It's a beautiful thing, and just getting them to understand that continuously, and getting guys to say, you know, now we're going to have some new leaders step up, and there's some there. You know, Brian Evans showed great leadership as a sophomore this year. I think, you know, he continues going in the right direction with his mentality, he's going to be an outstanding leader. I think Daniel Hatcher has an opportunity to be a great leader this year, you know, if he continues to grow and mature. And so I can't speak enough about the leadership of the senior class that allowed this to happen, you know, with Kel Parker. And he's kind of a quiet guy around us anyway. And but you never had to question if he was going to go hard at practice or in the weight room. Cedric Wilson, nobody would ever question how much he loved the game, how hard he worked. And that's the type of leadership I love, not somebody that talks a lot, but just gets after it, you know. And I could go on, and you know, the growth of Xavier Brown, you know, and Bubba Stevens kind of being the lone full-time starter coming back, you know, this year. Quiet guy, but you never had a question when he got his opportunity he's going to play well. Elijah Townsend, you talked about it earlier in the state championship game. Man, you know, just getting the younger guys to grow up and take those roles over, and, you know, who's the next guy up. That's going to be exciting to see over the next several months.
Zach Brown overcoming that.
Oh, man, what a story. You want to talk about that?
Zach, I told him at the end of the game, it's he pretty much got put on the sideline at midway through the season, and instead of giving up, instead of quitting, he stuck with it, and the kid earned his job back, and he ended up playing in the Dome. And I told him after that game, your story of what you did this year, I'm going to tell probably every year about what you did and what you overcame, and how you finished your career off. And I told him to apply that to his future life, because it's going to help him out tremendously in the future. And going back to what you said earlier about what's going to carry on from this season, I think they discovered the level of focus and determination that it takes to get to play inside. And now that we've experienced that, now that we know what it takes, I think that's one of the biggest lessons that we learned this year.
Was there anything about the experience in the Superdome that maybe made an impression on y'all that you were not expecting? Maybe something that you didn't expect and it just kind of came out of nowhere? Or is there anything that going forward, say you make it back, you would do different the next time?
I don't think I would change a thing. about what we did. I think I would if I had a choice, I think I'd get rid of the replay system because, I still hadn't figured out how they gave us a touchdown on the replay.
Yeah.
I think we're going to score that next. I was frustrated because, we got momentum.
Yeah.
Get out of the way and let us run this next play. We're going to score. And then we get the first down on the fake punt.
Yep.
And the week before, if we do that, it's a first down.
Yeah.
But now, as far as what we did, I thought it ran smooth. While we're on that note, Lacey Powell deserves so much credit for, we were able to enjoy the weekend because she ran the operation. She planned the meals, the hotels, so many other people. Alton guys, John, Daryl McCartney, they found the meals for us. McCartney will pay for the meal. We didn't have to worry about that. We had to worry about our kids and the game, and that was it. And that made it so much fun. So that made it a smooth operation. Miss Lacey was actually telling me today she had a list of things like this is some things that we could probably do better next year. And I was like, I didn't notice. So thank you because I didn't notice it. But if you say it needs to be changed, let's change it because she did such a great job making sure that we didn't have any distractions. We knew where to be, when to be there, and it was just it was a great experience overall.
Yeah, and that's impressive too. Only having a week. You think about colleges; they have months in advance. They're preparing for these trips, but she only had 1 week, so it's pretty awesome.
Anybody else? Anything maybe different or?
I'll go back to the leadership thing. I want to mention a guy by the name of Trey Gaines. First year starter, changed positions, went from outside backer to defensive line out of necessity. And once he got on the field, he just refused to give it up and watched more film than just about anybody. He's a quiet leader. He led through example. And I love that kid to death. He's one of the nicest, sweetest kids I know. And I'm so lucky that I got to coach him. I got to see him play on the Dome because that kid deserved it.
Yeah, Trey, I was actually going to mention that. You don't, in this day and age, you don't get where people really stick around if they're not center of attention, getting what's coming to them and that kind of mentality. Trey worked his butt off for 3 years and waited his turn to, he just worked while he waited. And then when he got the opportunity, absolutely didn't just make the most of it, but became one of our anchors, that position that he plays. If we're not good there, we're not going to be good anywhere running that 3-4 defense. And Elijah Townsend, same thing. He's had some injuries in the past. It's just unreal how proud you are of kids like that don't see immediate success, but they're bought in from the day they get on campus in his weight room. They're doing everything, and they're not getting the accolades and the pats on the backs on Fridays for 3 years. And then to see them, it's just super, super gratifying. And Trey is he's just a special kid, and you hope that those younger kids that they're looking to him and want to repeat that if maybe they're not seeing a lot of field time early in their career.
We need to talk a little bit about a kid like Luke Smith at center and what he meant to the Geno offensive line. I mean, small kid, but plays bigger than what he is.
And I hugged up with him after the game. Now, I can't talk about it much. I'll get emotional too. But I told him, I said, Luke, the rest of your life, no matter how many people look at you and go, you played football, boy ain't big as nothing. You're going to be able to tell everybody you were the starting center for 2 years and you were the starting center on the first ever Dome team in Geno High School history. And no one will ever take that from him. On that note, if you ever could take Luke's heart and put it into about the other 70% of the players we have and still have, you'd be an unstoppable group.
Yeah.
Boy played nicked up and hurt half the year. And once again, he says he was 180 something, but I know the truth.
Yeah.
But another kid, though, who was, you never questioned if he was going to be at practice. You never questioned if he was going to go full speed. You didn't have to worry about him ranting and raving and pitching a fit because it don't all go right. He was just a kid who genuinely loved the game of football and was a true Geno Giant. So, but I tell you, I'm like Coach. I don't think I would have changed anything. We go down as coaches. You wish you could soak so much of it in, but I couldn't. I couldn't even find my family in the stand. I found one of my daughters, and I couldn't even find my family in the stands. It was just so, finally getting to coach it, finally getting to play it, finally let's go win it, So, but that was, Luke Smith and you can talk about many of them. Cale Parker, one of the better tight ends I've ever coached, and then probably the one I'm more proud of that didn't get to play last year because of the injury that came in. It was like a Swiss Army knife, Adrian Sharp. And I mean, Adrian blocked, he ran routes, ran the football. He did all of those things. And like I said on the radio with y'all a few weeks ago, Deuce emerged and got better and got better and got better. And he got over his own critic, which was himself, and he got better and got better. And I'm gonna tell you what, Deuce in week 1 through 5, he would not have come back, put us back down the field and thrown that touchdown to Adrian at the end of the game. He wouldn't have done it. But I was so proud of him just watching that part of him grow up. And I'm going to say this, and this will tick people off, but if Deuce is in the right grade, we'd be talking about him as a junior right now.
Yeah, that's right.
If Adrian Cooper's in the right grade, we'd be talking about him as a junior right now. Ced Wilson and the two, Zach and Xavier Brown, are the only kids who are 18 years old. Now, we played against a Sterlington team that had more than 2 or 3 19-year-olds because their parents held them back. And instead of them graduating at 17 or barely 18, they played their senior year of football at 18 years old. And when you look at it, our defense would have every single person back except for the 2 Brown twins. And I'd be excited. I know Coach would be excited about that. I know we'd have Cale Parker, Adrian, Deuce. We'd have everybody back. Ced was the only 18-year-old that we had on the offense. Everyone else could have been back for another year. And I know I'm putting a spot in there for people and holding kids back, but I know that for us, what people don't get is playing football at 17 against playing football at 19 are two different male. That's 2 different male species, you know. So we're hoping maybe they've seen that because 2 of the defensive linemen for Sterlington, number 90 and number 91, were part of a 19-person group Sterlington class that held back 2 years ago.
Wow.
And so they're now freshmen. 90 and 91 started against us almost the whole game.
Yeah.
So people are probably grumbling about that, but hey, you only get one shot at doing this, right?
That's right.
You only get the mic every once in a while.
The tight end for Australia that they had as a freshman looked like he was like a senior.
He was a holdback with that group 2 years ago.
That kid was huge.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, 17 wide receivers also, a freshman, and he was their punter. But I just want to hit on Deuce again. I talked to his grandpa. He's one of I say grandpa. I don't know if that's what he's called because he's not real old, but he's a friend of mine from way back. But he keeps up with us. And Deuce had a rough game against Vidalia, and not just rough, performance wise, but probably did some things body language wise that he wished he could have fixed. And we got to talk about it the next week. And I've never been more proud of a kid and the immediate. All right, I've seen what I've done. I know I was wrong. And that Bunkie game, he was lights out. But I think he was perfect. I don't know if we had an incompletion. But and just the way that he carried us, no matter what was going on, if they scored, he got us right back out there. He grew up a ton in that 1 week. And it would be awesome if he was returning for one more year.
Before I leave, I've got to mention 2 other guys.
Go ahead.
As I'm looking across the field at Sterlington's linebacker, his 6'3", 245-pound self, I look at mine at 5'8", 135-pound Jesse Love. And Jesse's been one of the prouder ones that I had this year. Honestly, did not think he would be able to fulfill that role this year. And he just would not let me take him off the field. Without him, we don't get lined up. We don't make any calls. We don't play as good as we do there at the end without Jesse Love. And the other kid that I want to mention, it's somebody that doesn't get a lot of credit because he doesn't get a lot of playing time. He's one of our seniors, sat on the sideline a lot. Most people in that situation would have called it quits a long time ago. But I am extremely proud of Sam Cook for what he was able to do, sticking with it. And I told him, too, by you sticking with this and not giving up, this is another story that you're going to be able to live your life through. And I just really wanted to mention those two guys especially.
Yeah, because really that's what y'all want, or that's what the plan is to have juniors and seniors playing and not having freshmen and sophomores. But that's what you want. And these kids, it's hard to convince them to stick around and do the work for 3 or 4 years and not get that payoff of playing time, but waiting your time. And it's good to see that now you're seeing players do that. I mean, that's the goal of the program, really.
Yeah, just learning to overcome adversity and work while you wait. You see it so many times. We've lost so many good players over the years in every sport. Seems to be worse in baseball and softball, but if you don't get immediate playing time, you're not playing the position you want. It's so easy to just hang it up. And but learning to be able to handle those situations is going to go a long way in life. It's not just about ball. That's a life lesson. Work while you wait. Appreciate what you got. And Sam Cooke's a great example of that. And there's so many others I could go on about. But we do still have a football banquet, so we're not going to talk about them all night long. But I want to echo that I'm so proud of every one of those guys, especially Deuce. The growth he had this year, my goodness. He was an outstanding year, and I think y'all had plans to talk about some of the records. He, efficiency-wise, is probably the best quarterback season in the history of Jena High School. Second best in yardage and touchdowns in a season in Jena High School history. And I'm not going to get into that. I don't know all that like Russell does, but just so proud of the growth and improvement of that kid and so many on this football team.
Yeah, at the bottom of the paper, I just have give the mic to Russell and just let him
He's been waiting on this moment all his life.
I was disappointed, though. He didn't bring the laptop this time. And we got him a good mic, too.
I've been looking at it so much, I don't need the laptop.
But, yeah, we can talk about the records. I know Zadrian most receiving touchdowns in a season.
Yeah, and it's not close. I think he was at 21. He just 11 yards from passing a Dallas Cowboy, for single season in yards. And I was talking to a buddy of mine that lives out in Dallas, and for him to not be in the argument of the best that's ever played here would be crazy. I know you've got Jure, and we didn't really get to see what Jure could have done his senior year, but I think the numbers would have been very similar. Zadrian's was a huge pickup for a kid that didn't even play until he was a sophomore, and he was a young sophomore. So, and Deuce doing what he did, I think he's second on single season behind Dane Ashley, who was my quarterback, but went and played at Tulane, went and played at Northwestern. I mean, he was a pretty good player. And then he's fourth, I think, on career. And he only started for 2 years. And the couple of guys in front of him were 4-year guys. And he was really close to passing a couple more. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, 24 touchdowns, 6 picks. Is that right?
Yes, that's right.
Like that's crazy numbers. You can't do that on a video game most of the time.
Completed 54% of his passes this year.
54. Yeah, I mean Yeah, as far as attempts goes, and I know he'll see that.
Attempts.
He'll see that later on and be like, "Man, we should have threw the ball more." But I think Deuce understands, the reason he got the looks that he got, and when he started understanding that, I'm going to have man coverage all the time because we are absolutely annihilating people up front. I really just got to get it close to a really good number 7 and a really good number 1 and let them go do their thing. And he was really, really good at that.
Cedric, second best season by a running back in school history.
Second best behind Zarek, 4,000 yards, 4,006, I think. Him and career, I want to say he is 4th, I believe. He
said 4,000 yards. You're talking about career?
Career, my bad. Yeah, career. Yeah. I felt like Baby D just then. No, 4,000 yards per career.
They're the only two to have over 2,000 yards in a season.
Him and Zarek.
Yeah,
that's right.
And then touchdowns, it was, 32?
That's right,
but right
32. He's on the all-time list for touchdowns scored as well. I can't remember where, 4 or 5, but he's got, I think, 60 in his career, said. And you're going to see, Baby D keep going up there. He's already on single season list twice. He's on the all-time list already. I think he will too. I think he's going to end up being the guy, and he knows there's areas that we need to work on. I think if he works on just humility, and stay in the grind and being a leader, I think he's going to do some really special stuff here and then and on. So he's a special talent.
And then the thing I think we've looked at all year since Mangum, pretty much week one, just offense total, most yardage ever,
and
most
it's not
points ever.
It ain't close.
Yeah, 48 points a game, rushing yards 4,491, passing yards 1,676, total offense 6,166.
6,000 yards, and the closest. What's the 2,000 that was?
That's just the season.
So it's like 5,000. So the 2,000 team that had Dane, that had Mike Moffitt, that had Jason. I think it was 5,600 yards, and we kind of blew past that. This is the greatest offense that's ever played here. And you can argue so many different areas. Maybe they're the best receiver. Maybe this is the best running back tandem. I believe it is. And then what Deuce did on top of that, the offensive line, it'd be tough to find somebody better than them across the board. So, yeah, this is what we just got to watch in 2025. It has never been matched, and now that's the standard. Think 6,000 yards. That's crazy.
Was it last year we were talking about those two, and we were wondering if they were the first ones who had gotten over 1,000 yards, 2,000 yard running backs, and this year they were close to being 2,000 yard running backs.
Yeah, so you got Chico, you got Ced, you got Baby D, and you got Traylon. Those guys are all on that single season list. And I'm not knocking Traylon or Chico because I love those guys, but it's not real close to what their little brothers have done. So that's a little nudge to them.
And those, you're gonna be fortunate if you ever have running backs like that again. But I'll always remember this year as, I think you mentioned, the two tight ends. I think that might have been the most important part of it because of the blocking, and then Adrian being able to do what he could do at receiver or tight end. It just gave you so many different looks, and you could really fool teams with those two.
It's really impossible to defend, to be honest. You really have to. You have to beat yourself to be stopped. Being able to run A gap, B gap, C gap on both sides at any time, confidently. Not just, man, I hope this works. It's going to. As long as you don't get false start penalties doing what we do, those kids showed you. It's very, very difficult to stop. It's defensive coordinators' nightmares. We don't even like doing it in practice. We're trying to tick him off and throwing, not giving him the look that he's wanting because we're just tired of him gashing us. But yeah, it can be embarrassing. You don't want our kids to be deflated on the defensive side because they're just. But those two tight, that look, it was cool watching Ced and Baby D. But and I think they would be the ones to tell you those guys on the front, those are the best that's ever played here, and we're getting a lot of them back. And I can tell you this: you talking about those running backs, Caden Kitlin's going to be all right.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to throw his name out there, kind of like I threw Casey Dean last year.
He looked really good.
We didn't miss a lick, and Coach McCarty went through him. When Baby D came out in the state championship game, he didn't just go in. We gave him the ball 2 times in a row, right. and they ended up getting a first down.
Yep. The Bunkie game, to me, he came in, did a great job. But he just looked really fast against them.
It never failed when he went in. People would text me in game. Not that I was looking at my phone, but they would text me and be like, "Who is 20?" And it's every time I'm like, you'll find out. He's coming.
Yeah, and we love Luke Smith, but I know Ian Dry got hurt this year, but I really like him as maybe is he the guy for center next year, or
we're trying to steal him.
But sorry.
It's a off season. You kind of getting these arguments about who helps who the best or whatever. I know Luke and De La Salle has grown up tremendously. He'll have a chance to play center as well, and I'll let them talk about them. But Gerard's going to be a good football player. Yeah. So,
anything else you got? Anything else y'all just want to talk about?
Yeah,
go ahead.
Well, you were talking about like players and stuff. Our number one goal right here is we'll probably meet as a team tomorrow, and Coach will do a little talking and stuff like that, and say goodbye to those seniors. But we're going to take 2 weeks off, and when January hits, we start the whole process over. And the formula works. What we've been doing the last 5 years, really since 2015, formula works. Our job is to get back in and go ahead and fix the things, not only on the physical side, because you never know, and that's the funny thing about football and these kids, you don't ever know who's going to develop physically between now and August, and who's going to come like, oh crap, where's he been? And that's our deal. When we come back in January, our goal is do what we do every January. We're going to get stronger, and through February, and then hopefully about the first week of February, we'll be getting over there with them 8th graders and start getting them prepared mentally and physically in there. And it's the whole process starts over. And then that's why you don't really, tell kids, hey, your defense, your offense, you're this, you're that, because the way their bodies develop and the way we start grinding in January, you don't know, a kid may hit that growth spurt and all of a sudden he goes from outside linebacker to the 5 tech or something like that, So,
Yeah.
But that's what's going to happen when we get back in January, is we start the whole process over with, and it all starts in the weight room.
Yeah, and I think that's what people don't realize. This is all year.
Since he brought up hold the kids back, I'll go ahead. And I know, coach is going to be mad, but facility wise, I'm going to go ahead and plant this seed right here, right now. It's time for us to start thinking about some different directions with stuff. We had to travel 3 of these weeks. 3 of the teams that we played in the playoffs that we had to beat have turf facilities, and so it's getting storm rain for a solid week. We're traveling back and forth for 2 of those weeks to go to LC to try to find anywhere. We're fighting with soccer games and getting ran off the field, and Coach Rourke almost got arrested. And we're just trying to find somewhere to let these kids practice. And what it's become is it's a real disadvantage. Just having somewhere to practice, but also our junior high plays on our field. We play there, our JV, and if you're going to keep making these runs deep into December, your field is done by mid-November. And so this is a real conversation. I do want to say I love our booster club. What they did this week made us be able to enjoy this whole process instead of us having to worry about everything. It was seamless. Daryl, Jenny, Blake, Toller, Seth. Yeah, I mean, you cannot. Congressman Haley, he did everything that they did was perfect, and we've had these conversations with them, and it's time for this to be a real thing. We need to start making some upgrades there, and our softball team needs a field. They need a field on campus. It can be turf too. That's fine.
That's right.
But let's get everybody right there. It's just we're to the point. This is a real conversation, and we need to start having it. I was going to talk about those pillars that we did in the end zone. When I told people what we were going to do with that money, I sold those in a day and a half.
Yeah.
If people know where their money's going, it will happen. So I just wanted to plant that seed tonight. I appreciate the microphone. I'm done.
Yeah, turf can be used for baseball, softball practice. When you can't practice on the field, it can be used for a lot of different things. So,
somebody this weekend in the Superdome asked me. They said there's not even a turf field in LaSalle Parish. They thought, if anything, you'd have one at one of the 2 schools, so you wouldn't have to be going to Pineville to LC. And that was their point. Was, well, you would think at all these parishes that there would at least be one turf field in the parish, so it could be shared if it has to be. I didn't know if it was a mentality thing. I didn't know if y'all just liked having the natural grass as a. We're going to be running, and we're going to be tough, play defense on the natural grass.
No, we don't like. There was a time where I thought, I like that, and I do like a natural grass field. But when you're going into December, there's not a lot of grass left.
Yeah,
and that's when you're getting into the dormant season, and it's raining, and you just stomp that grass out, and you're having to play a semifinal game on a mud slick. So anyway, I didn't mean for that to come up, but I don't disagree with it. before we close, I want to thank y'all again for the coverage all year. Thank y'all for what y'all do at the junior high. I also want to thank our community. My gosh, just unbelievable. And I hope that our kids understand it's not like this everywhere. We're blessed. We're blessed with a great, the band this year under new leadership with Mr. Aaron did a great job, cheered and danced, and everybody. The student section was, above anything I've seen anywhere else. So, and so many other people. I could thank everybody. We're going to put out a big thank you in the paper in the next week or two to all the people. If I try to sit here and list it, it would take up another hour. But we're just blessed with great support and great support groups within our school and great administration. So we're blessed, and I'm so thankful for everything that God has blessed us with.
Yeah, I mean, we're blessed too to be able to cover you guys. I mean, the greatest run in Gina history. I mean, as far as all sports, football, and what the last 13 years and covering you guys and watching you coaches grow each and every year. It's been something special, and seeing the progression of you as a coach from calling plays at Ouachita Junior High to being assistant coach at Gina High School and stepping up, being the head coach. It's been awesome to watch that as well.
Appreciate that. Did you know that was a coach that we coached at Ouachita Junior High? Roy Brown. That might have been before you, but
I remember
he was
the name.
With Sterlington the other night. That was a neat experience as well. Made me feel old. But
that's right.
I appreciate that.
Well, if y'all don't have anything else, I guess we'll send it to a break.
Could talk all night, but
I got another coach sitting at the house waiting. He's like, "When are they going to get done? I got to talk about basketball." We really appreciate y'all coming here tonight. Been awesome. Proud of y'all. Have enjoyed it. I mean, not just the last week. The whole season has been awesome, been incredible, and appreciate all y'all's hard work, and good luck next year.
Thank you.
Yep. That's right.
Thanks.
Or we'll see you in a couple of weeks when you come to the junior high.
That's right.
All right, you listen to the walkthrough on 1.7 KJNN.
Justice Oil Company salutes the young men and women who put in long hours in search for athletic supremacy. Justice Oil has been a long supporter of high school athletes in LaSalle Parish, as well as the Tigers of LSU. Take the time to show your appreciation by attending sporting events to root on your teams. Student athletes appreciate the time you take to attend their events. Wishing you the best in the future, on and off the field, from Justice Oil Company.
When you need an expert, you call one, whether it's a doctor, a lawyer, or your local Farm Bureau insurance agent. There's one in every parish to help you protect what's important to you and your family, because protecting the people of Louisiana is what's important to us. Learn more about how Farm Bureau insurance can save you time and money. Visit lafarmbureau.com to find a local agent and ask for a quick auto, home, or life insurance quote. That's lafarmbureau.com. Make contact with your local Farm Bureau insurance agent today.
Looking for a bank that truly understands the communities they serve? CLB, the community bank, has you covered. They offer a wide range of services from top-tier interest rates on checking accounts and CDs to the latest in online, digital, and mobile banking. What makes CLB the community bank the go-to choice for all your banking needs is the convenience of managing finances from anywhere, anytime. Visit their website or one of 7 branches today. CLB, the community bank, where community comes first. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. Looking for a place to connect and grow? Join us at Eastview Baptist Church, where everyone is welcome. Tune in here to listen to worship on Sunday mornings at 8:30, or come join us in person for Sunday school at 9:45 and worship at 10:45. Eastview, where we seek the kingdom first.
McPherson under center. Going to fake the handoff. Going to drop back on throw deep for Cooper. Cooper will have it called off the 30, 25, 20, 15, 10-5, touchdown, Adrian Cooper.
Our call of the week brought to you by CLB Community Bank. That'll be one I'll always remember. Deuce McPherson is Adrian Cooper for 74 yards. Just a great memory from this past weekend. And we have two more, and I'll play them here later. It was two, if you, on our page, Elijah Townsend had 2 fumble recoveries. Had a great game. I really want to spotlight them because they had 2 great games. We really appreciate Coach Matthew Whitman being patient, having to sit there through all that football talk. But it is now we're going to turn the page and get into basketball season. Coach, you there?
Yes, sir.
Well, how's it going? I know y'all played last night, opened up the season against Monterey, a little bit later start than normal, but how'd it go last night?
Well, we picked up the win. Guys played hard. Off of 2 days of practice, like you said, we started a little later than normal. Which, by the way, let me just say before we get into all that basketball stuff, I do want to say congratulations to Coach Roark and his staff and all the kids on our football team. We share a ton of them. Couldn't be more happy for them and just proud of them and the work they did this year. But a little later. But we played well last night and got a win and moving forward.
And this is the latest you've ever started, right? I mean, you probably never been in this situation where you had to wait till a state championship game in football, right?
Never in my life. I told them after the semifinal win, I said I was on the field happy for them after the semifinal win, and I said I'm probably the happiest coach in the state of Louisiana to get to not have to wait another week to play. It's been the longest wait. I've been a little bored, but no, happy for those guys. Happy they got to experience that heck of a year, and we'll get started now.
So pretty much, okay, they played in the state championship game on Friday. What'd you give them? You give them Saturday and Sunday off?
I gave them Saturday off.
So Sunday, y'all were in the gym.
We were in the gym Sunday and Monday. We got 2 practices, and we rolled right into Monterey on Tuesday.
And now we've got the Holiday Classic coming up this starting tomorrow night. Kind of tell us about it.
Man, we got 3 good days of basketball for anybody that wants to come watch the CLB Holiday Classic. It's been a great tournament every year. It's grown every year. We got some, I can talk specifically on the boys' side. We have some of the best teams in the state of Louisiana coming to play. We got teams like Ash that compete for a state championship every year. Tioga, who's really, really good this year. Natchitoches Central will be playing tomorrow night. They played, I believe, in the state championship game last year. Pleasant Hill, who's played in the state championship game last year in their class. As well as some good, Jena High School basketball. The boys will play on Thursday and Saturday, and the girls will play on Friday and Saturday. So it's a loaded tournament. Should be some good games.
And from looking at the schedule, is it each night one of the Jena teams, either boys or girls, Thursday and Friday, y'all play at 8:30, right?
Well, so each night a Jena team will play. You are right there. We had to do a little bit of changing today. We had a team call today, and the guy had 7 or 8 guys with the flu, and so we did get rid of a game for tomorrow and Friday. So the 8:30 games on Thursday and Friday, tomorrow and Friday, will now be the 7 o'clock games. There's just one less game on Thursday and Friday, just because, like I said, because we had a little issue and we kind of had to tweak it. That schedule will be going out tomorrow. There's not a lot of things changing. We just kind of got rid of a game or 2 because we got a team with some extenuating circumstances.
What time will it start on those days, on Thursday and Friday?
So on Thursday and Friday, the first game will tip at 4 o'clock. And then on Saturday, the first game will tip at 10 o'clock. Saturday is loaded from top to bottom. We'll start at 10 o'clock, and the last game won't start until I think either 7:30 or 8 o'clock. It's a long day. It's 9 games of basketball, but I mean, for $10 entry, you can come watch 9 games. So, anyway, that's what it looks like.
Yeah, to me, if you've got a kid that loves basketball, it's easy entertainment there. Just go up to the high school and pay $10, and they can watch all the basketball they want.
They can get all they want.
And then if you are just interested in the team this year, because I know we're really excited about both teams. Last year, both the girls and the boys made the playoffs, and y'all return a lot of starters this year. So we're excited about potentially making the playoffs again this year. So if you want to watch some good basketball and support some good basketball teams from Gina, come on out this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. We, the girls did what they did last year, making a quarterfinal run. And I think they have most of their team back from that. We're coming off back-to-back playoff appearances. Hosted a home game a couple of years ago, went 2 rounds deep, and then had another good year last year. And as we've kind of talked about the last couple of years, that young team that we've had on the boys' side for the last few years has now grown up, and so we're looking forward to a great year as well. So should be a fun year.
Well, we're looking forward to it and looking forward to some good basketball this weekend. Appreciate you joining us tonight, Coach.
Yep, thank y'all very much. I appreciate y'all.
Gina Giants basketball coach Matt Whitman. Yep, now we got to turn the page and start talking about basketball now.
Yeah, that time of the year.
Before we go, or
I'm not ready to go yet.
I know that's what I was going to say. Well, I was going to give you a chance to talk about whatever, like you don't talk about stats or something over there.
Yeah, I ain't quite done with football yet.
Okay,
we're still hanging on.
You got something else?
Yeah, I want to go through just the final stats before we get out of here.
You want me to take a break and then come back?
Let's take a break.
All right,
Maybe
let's take a break right here. Listen to the walkthrough on 1.7 KJNM.
Justice Oil Company salutes the young men and women who put in long hours and search for athletic supremacy. Justice Oil has been a long supporter of high school athletes in LaSalle Parish, as well as the Tigers of LSU. Take the time to show your appreciation by attending sporting events to root on your teams. Student athletes appreciate the time you take to attend their events. Wishing you the best in the future, on and off the field, from Justice Oil Company.
Louisiana is strong. It's hard work and determination. It's never giving up. It's being there for family, friends, and neighbors because you gave them your word. It's celebrating life's good times and standing tall when times are tough. You call this great state home, and so do we. We're headquartered here with a presence in every parish to better serve you. We're Louisiana's insurance company, Louisiana Farm Bureau Insurance. Real service, real people.
Hi, I'm Cliff Smith with CLB, the Community Bank. With 20 years of banking experience, I have seen many changes, but one thing that hasn't changed is our commitment to help customers with all their financial needs. CLB, the Community Bank, is here to help you, whether it's to open an account, online banking setup, credit card application, home mortgage, consumer, or commercial loan. If you're looking for personal service with real care, come by and see us at CLB, the Community Bank, 2349 North 1st Street, Gina, Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC.
Looking for a place to connect and grow? Join us at Eastview Baptist Church, where everyone is welcome. Tune in here to listen to worship on Sunday mornings at 8:30, or come join us in person for Sunday school at 9:45 and worship at 10:45. Eastview, where we seek the kingdom first.
Gonna have a receiver to the far side. Breen under center going to send distribution. And the ball's off. Ball's on the ground. And Gina has it. Gina has it. They dropped the snap. Giants are coming. It's Elijah Towns that has the football. Breen going to toss back to Dismukes. And we're all. Ball's out. Ball is out. And Gina has it. Elijah has the football. Yep. Elijah Towns. Ball don't lie. The ball don't ever lie. And we get it right back.
That was our last two calls of the week for football season, brought to you by CLB, the community bank. The reason I was saying ball don't lie was because the play before they reviewed on the punt fake, we had the first down, and after the review, they took it away from us, said we did not get to the first down, gave it to Sterlington, and then the very next play, Jonas Jenkins delivers a monster hit on their running back, and he fumbles it, and Elijah Townsend's there to recover it. I said it earlier in the show, but it was so cool to see people talking about Elijah Townsend and the game he had.
The season. I mean, Elijah Townsend was
a great year.
Always in the backfield making critical tackles, tackle for loss.
Led the team with tackles for loss.
13.
And he had two in the game, in the state championship game, but I remember the one big one where they tried to run that counter play, and he tackled the running back about 5 yards deep.
Right.
Great year by Elijah Townsend, and just a great year for all the seniors. Senior class finished 41-12 in their career. Most wins by a senior class in school history. They won 3 district championships and first team to get to the Superdome and play for a state championship. Senior center Luke Smith made the all-academic football team, and they normally recognize those kids at the state championship. I'm assuming it was one of the days that maybe I got there late, because I went all 3 days, and I didn't see that, but they normally bring all the kids out, and I guess I missed that, but they do recognize those kids, and that's hard to do. I mean, Luke, like they were saying, starting center the last 2 years, works his butt off, but then to be all academic, I mean, making the grades.
That's the most important thing.
Yeah.
Grades first. When college coaches, when they come to your school or make that phone call asking about a player, first question they're going to ask, how's his grades? What's he looking like in the classroom right now? Is he eligible?
Yep.
That's usually the first question.
And I meant to ask Coach Roark, and I forgot, but this week Cedric Wilson is in the
I-20 Bowl.
I-20 Bowl in Monroe.
Yeah, East versus West.
Well, Colton Sharp did last year.
Derek Jones has done it in the past.
Yeah. And Cedric has had the chance to experience
Coach
that.
Whitney McCartney coached it last year as the offensive line coach.
Yep. But Cedric is in that this week. It's just so awesome to see players getting to do that.
Pretty much something going on every day. They got practice and they visit different places and do some community projects. Is the game is this on Sunday? They usually have that game on Saturday or Sunday. I can't remember.
Well, now that you say it, I don't know. I was thinking Saturday, but it may be Sunday.
I can't remember.
I was saying like I remember last year being on Sunday.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking for some reason.
In the afternoon. Yeah.
I remember watching it.
Yeah,
on TV.
I think you're right.
I think I streamed it on YouTube.
Yeah, I think you're right. Sunday afternoon, maybe. You want to get into some stats? Or
let's man, the greatest offense in Gina John history, 2025 offense. 2 great tailbacks, some of the best in the state of Louisiana. Put them guys up against anybody. Not only just carrying the rock each and every week, each and every game, but also the blocking ability by each one of them, blocking for each other. I can't say enough about this year. That really stood out to me when Cedric didn't have the ball, Daniel was blocking, throwing big blocks, or when Daniel had it, Cedric was the same way, man. It was great to see. But Cedric Wilson, 247 carries, 2,151 yards, 32 touchdowns, averaging almost 9 yards a carry. I mean, that's unbelievable. 96-yarder was his longest of the year. Daniel Hatcher, the junior, still got another year of him. 213 carries, 1,889 yards, 25 touchdowns, and averaging 9 yards a carry. 86 was his longest of the year. And you talk about a kid like Caden Kitlin. They mentioned him coming in the state championship game, getting back-to-back carries. He's going to be somebody to look forward to next year. He had 35 carries, 212 yards, 3 touchdowns. Deuce McPherson, quarterback, 2-year starter, outstanding performance this season. Had a great year, 24 touchdown passes, 1,643 yards. Just seeing his growth, from last year to this year, and the coaches kind of talked about that earlier. But it was awesome to see, and Deuce performed at a high mark all season long, throwing the ball to Zadrian and Adrian. Zadrian, the senior wide receiver, 41 catches, 1,017 yards, 14 touchdowns, a single season record for Gina High School. 77 was his long of the year. Adrian Sharp, a kid who hurt last year, come back, play some tight end, wide receiver for us. Just outstanding receiver in traffic. Just, you're looking for a guy to catch that third down pass on the slant, middle of the field. Adrian Sharp was the guy. 24 catches, 392 yards, 5 touchdowns. 56 long was his longest reception. Cale Parker, can't say enough about him. Senior leader this year, moving from offensive line guard out to tight end. A transition for him. 5 catches, 103 yards, 2 touchdowns. Had that first touchdown, I think it was against Menard, if I remember correctly, was his first touchdown catch there. But defense, outstanding. Just seeing them guys, and I was so happy Coach Faircloth was able to join us tonight, and all the coaches. But we don't get to hear a lot from Coach Faircloth, and it's always great any time we get the opportunity to listen to him, and just know he just does an outstanding job. And man, I keep saying every year, man, I hope we don't lose him, to some other team, because he is that good and really puts in the work. Carter Nichols, 69 tackles, 4 tackles for loss, 3 fumble force, 1 fumble recovery. Xavier Brown, 68 tackles. Jesse Love had 66 total tackles. Brian Evans, he's going to be something really special in the next couple of years. Sophomore this year, 65 tackles. Cason Dean, who also really, really stood out to me as the season went on, and especially late in the season. You've seen Cason in on several tackles there. 56 was his total. Cash Richardson, 47 total tackles. And Elijah Townsend, 37 tackles, and had them 13 tackles for loss, 2 fumble recoveries. Brian Evans, he had 2 sacks. Interception-wise, Xavier Brown had 2 interceptions. Jonas Jenkins, sophomore defensive back, all-district team, 4 interceptions this year. Giants had 8 interceptions total this year. So Nolan Williams also too. He was injured first part of the year, and came on and really produced. Was very productive. Had 2 sacks on the year. So I think looking forward, got a lot of talent returning, and I think we'll be in for another special season next year.
Yeah, you can't say enough about Coach Faircloth. To lose that many starters and to have that many, I mean, we're not talking about kids that are really big, have big size, some undersized kids, and to go out there and shut down Sterlington like they did, it's just incredible. And to do the job that he did, I wish you could video the first half of the season and then the second half of the season to see the improvement.
Night and day.
And that's all. That's coaching there. Yeah. And he does a great job.
That's just getting the kids bought in and getting in the meetings and watching the film and just the experience. You go back to that Mangum game, how the offense that Mangum has, and Mangum makes it to the Dome. Was just almost was state champions. Came in here to beat Haynesville, and you think where we were at that point to where we are now. I mean, it's a huge difference. But hats off to Coach Faircloth.
Yeah, I guess if you want to talk about this real quick, I mean, we're not. You do kind of tend to look ahead. We kind of talked about some other players, but I'd say a big thing that you may look at is quarterback.
Yeah, that's right.
I think a lot of people are going to be saying, well, who's quarterback next year? So it'll be interesting to see on that. I think you're bringing a lot of returning experience from defense. You have a lot of guys back on there. And we talk about those 2 tight ends. It's so hard to replace them because you just don't always have kids that are built like that. But I do know there's some very skilled guys in the freshman class right now and the sophomore class that, I mean, we enjoyed having them at the junior high, and it'll be interesting to see what they develop into the next year.
Yeah. State championship games. I mean, Ouachita Lions, fifth place in 2-5A, come away with a state championship, beating the top seeds in 5A football, and playing against Ruston and down there, come back. Wydell Clark, just a monster game that he had, creating the turnover. Ahmad Hudson was racing towards the end zone. Wydell gets his hand in there, knocks that thing free. Ouachita gets the ball.
That play. If Gino was not even down there, this was a great weekend for the state championship because every day there was a great game. But that play right there, we were there. We stayed Saturday. They run the reverse, and you're thinking, because it's 4th down, I'm thinking, man, they just ran a reverse. And then they throw it to Hudson. I'm like, okay, he's open. And then he makes a great play to get away from the defender and breaks free. And you think, is he about to score to put them up? And then out of nowhere, Clark chases him down. That was so crazy. Because it was just me and my wife and my kids in there watching, to hear the Ruston fans getting loud, and then when the fumble happened, the Ouachita fans get loud. And that's what I love about the Dome is hearing both fans get involved.
It's loud, too. It's really loud.
Yeah, and that game was awesome. Congratulations, Coach Benji Lewis.
Yeah.
Got it done. Really proud of you.
Coach Benji Lewis got to start in Gina as an assistant coach under Coach Mac Fowler. I know Coach Mac Fowler was happy for Benji there, and I think he
was there. I saw him. Yeah. Didn't get a chance to talk to him. I did see him in the stands.
You know, he had to be proud for that.
Yeah. So, yeah, it was a great weekend.
I mean, you had Shaw and St. Charles in the epic game.
Yep.
Had the Shaw player. I mean, they were trying to kneel it out, finish out the game. The Shaw center takes his helmet off, throws it up in the air, 15-yard penalty, backs him up. And then Shaw has to punt the football. They get a hand on it. And then St. Charles ends up kicking a 44-yard game-winning field goal.
Well, no, I think on that punt, they just shanked it. They just went off the side of his foot, went 8 yards. But, yeah, then the field goal kicker came out there and knocked it down.
Yeah. I mean, he missed the extra point.
Yeah. And then clutched to come back and get the game. It was like a 40-yard field goal.
Yeah.
But then the St. Augustine Edna Carr, finale to the weekend was just those. I could have sat there and watched those two bands, not even watch the game, but the two bands going at it. And, man, it was so many people in the Dome at that time. They were going into the next level, and it just was crazy. It was loud. It was just a great weekend. Like I said, I wish I could have – you wish you could experience coaching on the sideline. I wish I could have sat in the stands because I saw some people who I know I graduated with that have not been back to Gina.
Yeah.
But they came to that game, and to see people like that, it was almost like a homecoming of sorts. But what we did get to experience is, I mean, I've always said Sulphur was the top for me. That was awesome.
Yeah.
It's hard to beat the Superdome.
Yes, it's hard to beat. Yeah.
I mean, we love football.
Yeah.
And then in the Superdome, being able to have access and do that.
So much history and knowing you walked where the broadcasting legends have walked, for Super Bowls and Sugar Bowls and Final Fours.
I mean, in Sulphur, we stay in the press box. You're not able to get on the field because it's softball. You may get hit by a ball.
Right.
But to be able to go on the field for every game and experience the state championship games for every division, I mean, just Thursday night, I was just over the top watching Elijah Haven and Dunham beat Calvary, and I was on the field to see it. Man, it was a night. I think Thursday night I didn't want to leave, and then Saturday when we knew it was over, I was like, man, I don't want to leave. It was like a vacation.
Yeah,
like,
that's right.
I'm not ready for this to be over with. But yeah, that'll be right now, unless we can get down there and win it. That's gonna be my top memory as far as doing this job.
Yeah, I can't wait to get back.
Yep, I think Coach Rourke talking about the players having that hunger in them. I agree. I think now that they've gotten to that point, they know what it takes. They know how much fun all this was. They're going to be really hungry to get back. Anything else you want to talk about?
We should probably wrap up the show.
Yeah, I know Zoe's probably about ready to go home. So we really appreciate Zoe, though, being here every week and doing the behind-the-scenes stuff for us. Having those graphics up and ready, and really appreciate all her hard work and appreciate all our sponsors for this year so far. And when we come back, we'll take a few weeks off, and when we come back, we'll be starting with basketball season. It'll be girls basketball and boys basketball. It'll be district play kind of be starting up. And remember, Holiday Classic this weekend, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Be some great games. Be a lot of good basketball being played. And give you a chance to kind of get out there and get comfortable or get used to seeing who's on the team for the girls and the boys. So I know I'm excited about it. And I mean, as the way this year started, going to be a big year for Gina Giant Athletics. For Brant King, I'm Austin Wiley. You've been listening to The Walk there on 100.7 KJNA. Good night, everybody.